The Southside Hoods, made up of two subdivisions, the Purple Nines and the Red Jacks, are a set of prominent African-American gangs in Shoreside Vale, Liberty City. By the time Grand Theft Auto 3 takes place in 2001, the Nines begin selling spank on local streets. The Red Jacks, particularly their leader D-Ice, are against the drug and narcotic business and start a war with the Nines. Curiously, the Red Jacks and Purple Nines never attack each other on the streets and will even assist each other if one is wounded or in battle, pertaining to all gang member characters being modeled after Southside Hoods. To cover up the error in the plot, D-Ice warns Claude that if he shoots at Nines, some Red Jacks would assume that they were under fire and shoot at him as well. The Purple Nines faction shares its gang color with the Haitians and the Ballas. The rivalry in colors of the Red Jacks and the Purple Nines might be a reference to the Los Angeles-based Bloods and Crips, whose presence are also in New York, which Liberty City is based on. In GTA Liberty City Stories, set in 1998, they are assisted by the Leone family in taking Wichita Gardens as their turf and driving out the Forelli family. The Yakuza is a Japanese criminal organization that appears in Grand Theft Auto 3. They are based on the Yamaguchi-gumi Yakuza family and have appeared more times than any other gang in the Grand Theft Auto series. They are an ally of the protagonist in Grand Theft Auto 3 and antagonists in Grand Theft Auto Liberty City Stories. The Yakuza first began operating in Liberty City during the 1970s due to financial crises in East Asia. By 1998, they had become one of the strongest gangs in the city and had begun to stockpile weapons, including a tank, which Tony Cipriani destroys on orders from Salvatore Leone. In 2001, the Yakuza is led by siblings Asuka and Kenji. Asuka encounters Claude through an old friend named Maria Lador, wife of Leone family Don Salvatore Leone. Asuka has Claude prove his ties to the Leone family are over by killing Salvatore. Their logo features the biohazard symbol. Despite being one of the main allies to Claude in GTA 3, they will turn hostile to him if he shoots or carjacks them. They speak both English and Japanese. The Colombian cartel is exceptionally well armed and are led by Catalina and Miguel to produce and supply the drug spank in Liberty City. It is suggested that the Colombian cartel may be using the local airport and a harbor freight as a front to smuggle the spank drug into Liberty City. The exact origins of the Colombian cartel in Liberty City aren't precisely explained, but their heavy presence in the region can possibly be explained by real-life events occurring in Colombia during the time period. The Colombian drug war came to a head with the assassination of Pablo Escobar in 1993. By the late 1990s to early 2000s, the cartel system in Colombia was in a state of collapse. Colombian crime organizations began operating outside of Colombia, setting up operations in other Latin American countries, the United States, Canada, and Europe. Cartel members wear Hawaiian shirts, combat pants, Mexican hats, and boots in GTA 3. The cartel is related to the Diaz cartel from GTA Vice City. In GTA Liberty City Stories, some members can be heard saying that they used to own a mansion in Vice City. The Leone crime family is an Italian-American mafia criminal organization, originating from Sicily whose main base of operations is in Liberty City. The Leones are based on the Corleone family from the Godfather movie. This is also supported by their involvement in the gambling industry. Don Vito Corleone and Michael Corleone are also the main inspiration of Don Salvatore Leone and his son Joey. The two families settled their operations in Italian neighborhoods, Little Italy and St. Mark's, and were responsible for the murder of the heads of the other families in the city. They are the secondary antagonists in GTA 3 and one of the player's main allies in GTA Liberty City Stories. The Leone family was active in Las Venturas, San Andreas, circa 1992, where they held a stake in Caligula's casino with the Sindaco and Forelli families. The casino was later robbed in a heist organized by former ally Carl Johnson with the assistance of Zero and the Triads. The scenario in which the Sicilian Mafia attempt to take over Liberty City may be similar to the real-life event in which the Sicilian Mafia reformed the American New York Mafia. The Uptown Yardies, also simply known as the Yardies, are a Jamaican gang led by King Courtney, which appear as minor antagonists in Grand Theft Auto 3 and the main group of antagonists in Grand Theft Auto Advance. In 2001, King Courtney employs Claude after he proves himself in a race. Courtney first has Claude kill a number of Diablos with two Yardies members on their turf. In GTA 3, Uptown Yardie members wear a black short-sleeved hoodie, tan vest and pants, and brown shoes. In GTA Liberty City Stories, they wear brightly colored tank tops with the KJH West logo, with or without a yellow t-shirt worn inside, jeans, and brown shoes. Their use of Jamaican English and modern street slang with their heavy Jamaican accents make them relatively difficult to understand on occasions without the use of the game's subtitles. On the iOS map of Liberty City, the Yardie logo is at Espatria, which should mean that the gang is situated there, but the Yardies are actually situated in Newport. Due to a rare glitch, the Yardies may occasionally appear in Atlantic Keys. The Diablos, Spanish for devils, are a Puerto Rican gang appearing in Grand Theft Auto 3, Grand Theft Auto Advance and Grand Theft Auto Liberty City stories. They are a fairly small gang, and not very well armed. The leader of the Diablos is El Burro, who has been under observation by police since 1997. The only activities known to be associated with the Diablos are street violence and pornography. They also appear to be having spats with the Uptown Yardies for dissing Queen Lizzie. They lost a lot of members during the attempted turf war battle with the Leone crime family in Hepburn Heights and with the Yakuza for trying to steal some protection money. The Diablos play an important role in GTA Liberty City stories, being one of the gangs used by the Sicilian Mafia to attack interests of the Leone family. In GTA Liberty City stories, Diablos members don fishnets or red skullcaps on their heads, red shirts, and black or brown pants. If the player jumps on top of a car in GTA 3 or GTA Liberty City stories while being attacked by Diablos, they will pull out pistols and shoot the player. They don't use these guns under normal circumstances. The Triads are a Chinese gang based in Portland, Liberty City that appear as one of the antagonists in Grand Theft Auto 3 and Grand Theft Auto Liberty City stories. Though the Liberty City Triads appear to be a petty street gang, it is evident that they are beginning to dabble in organized crime, including extortion, as well as pushing drugs for the Colombian cartel via Chunky Lechon. They also own the Turtle Head Fish Factory in Callahan Point. According to the Liberty Tree newspaper, some Japanese men have become part of the Triads, implying a link with the Yakuza. They are the initial enemy of Claude, while he works for the Leone family. An all-out war between the Triads and the Leones erupted as the Triads attempted to muscle in on Leone businesses in Chinatown. Triad members wore blue boiler suits and black bandanas. In the beta releases of the game, the Triads originally wore black tracksuits with tattoos and no bandana. This was changed for the final release. They carried baseball bats or pistols. Their gang logo has a huge resemblance to the one of the Mortal Kombat game series. The Triads are the only gang in GTA 3 that never gives Claude any missions. There is another small gang in GTA 3, the Forelli Brothers. The Forelli Brothers, formerly known as the Forelli family, are the smallest organization in Liberty City. Their current boss is unknown, though it is possible they are led by Mike Forelli. In the 1980s, the Forelli family had been a major force in the city, but their influence greatly decreased during 1986 after the killings of their Don Sonny Forelli and several other members in Vice City, Florida. Their hold on Liberty's criminal underworld was weakened even further in 1992, with the deaths of several of their members at the hands of Carl Johnson, and again during 1998 due to Tony Cipriani and the Leone family. According to police files on the GTA 3 website, they became subordinate to the Leones prior to 2001, but would later strive to break free from the latter. This would cause tensions to rise once more between the two crime families. By 2001, their only territory is Marco's Bistro in St. Mark's. However, their members are never seen walking the streets during normal gameplay. In GTA 3, they are dressed like the Leones as seen in one of Joey Leone's missions. The Vice City Bikers is a motorcycle club in GTA Vice City. They are the only motorcycle gang present in the game. The Hells Angels Motorcycle Club is the inspiration for the gang, as they are later hired as security for a concert of the hair metal band Love Fist. This is a reference to the disastrous Rolling Stones show at Altamont, where Hells Angels were hired as security and an angel stabbed a member of the crowd. They are influenced by neo-Nazi culture, with some of them have Iron Cross tattoos on their shoulders. Although members of the gang do not usually appear during normal free roaming in GTA Vice City, there will always be a stationary member wearing body armor outside the greasy chopper bar. Simply put, they are the biggest family of misfits, outcasts, and badasses, as quoted by their leader, Big Mitch Baker. Baker is a Vietnam veteran, and apparently earned a Purple Heart while killing a village full of enemies. In GTA Vice City stories, the Vice City Bikers are revealed to be a large criminal organization, owning several businesses in downtown Vice City and Vice Point. Drug baron Ricardo Diaz unnamed drug cartel, referred to as Diaz's gang, was a Vice City-based Colombian drug cartel, appearing as the secondary group of antagonists in GTA Vice City. Circa 1984,
Diaz organization was a major rival to the then most powerful drug barons, the Mendez cartel.
Diaz enlisted the help of the Vance brothers, Victor in particular, to eliminate Diego and Armando Mendez. The Diaz cartel became the dominant drug-running organization in Vice City, with Ricardo's aggressive interest in staying on top of the drug smuggling business a defining factor which lasted until Tommy Vercetti's takeover of Vice City. Diaz gang are a reference to the movie Scarface, where there is a drug cartel called the Diaz cartel, who are also drug dealers and are enemies of Tony Montana, who Tommy Vercetti is based on. Diaz men that disrupted the drug deal between Tommy and the Vance brothers are inspired by the LAPD SWAT team in the Die Hard, 1988, movie, who have similar uniforms.
The Haitians are a street gang in GTA Vice City. They are the main rivals of the Cubans, and they vie for control of the poorer neighborhoods of Vice City.
Haitian gang members are seen wearing either blue shirts, reading Relax, white pants and baseball caps, silver sunglasses, or light purple sleeveless shirts, jeans and blue bandanas. The gang is exclusively composed of Haitian immigrants/descendants, and are mainly active in the Vice City mainland, with their home turf being Little Haiti. Prior to the Mission Trojan Voodoo, they will also spawn in Little Havana, often engaging the rival Cubans in gunfights. The Haitians are primarily involved in minor street crime, such as robbery, gun crime, and petty theft, but seem to have larger ambitions, as they appear to be engaging in both arms and narcotics trafficking. The gang is unique in their practice of a corrupted form of voodoo, where it is implied they curse their enemies. The Haitians are loosely inspired by the Zoe Pound, an active Haitian gang that primarily operates in Miami. Both gangs practice Haitian voodoo, though the Zoe Pound did not form until 1992. PIG, the Patrol Invest Group, are a legitimate security force that is part of DBP Security. They are however involved in several illegal protection rackets with the Vice City triads. Their legal operations include patrolling the North Point Mall, Escobar International Airport, Leaf Links Country Club, and Starfish Island, which could be considered their turf. Even though they don't strictly appear as a gang, the in-game stats classify them as so, listing them as security guards in the gang section. Besides that, they can sometimes also be seen being chased by the police, and if hit while in chase, Tommy will be given the Good Citizen bonus of $50. During the storyline, they are not as important nor as powerful as the other gangs, though they do make quite a lot of appearances, such as protecting Alex Shrub, Love Fist, and a counterfeiting protection business for the Vice City triads. They roam around unlike any gang, as members can be seen patrolling the streets individually throughout Vice City.
They will shoot at the Street Wannabe members at the mall and Vercetti gang members if near Vercetti estate.
They will only shoot Tommy in self-defense or even if he shoots a bullet in any direction. Sonny Forelli is an Italian-American mobster and the dawn of the Liberty City-based Forelli crime family as of 1986.
A friend and the boss of GTA Vice City protagonist Tommy Vercetti. In 1971, Sonny sent Tommy to Harwood to assassinate a key mobster. However, when Tommy arrived, he found himself surrounded by 11 hitmen. The 11-man ambush was ordered by Sonny himself. Due to Sonny and the Forelli family's connections, Tommy was spared the death penalty or life imprisonment, instead being sentenced to 15 years in prison. Sonny Forelli is similar to Sonny Corleone from 1972 film The Godfather. Both of them act as boss for their family, and both have same ruthless, short-tempered personality. According to Dan Houser in an IGN interview, Sonny and Tommy were friends since childhood. In the same interview, Houser explained that Tommy never told anyone that Sonny was the one who sent him to kill the key mobster, and by extension his henchman, because he believed in a mafia code and sense of honor amongst thieves. Sonny is the only Forelli family member who wasn't killed in Liberty City.
The Street Wannabes are a band of thugs who roam around the North Point Mall and Prawn Island. Their unnamed leader steals from Ricardo Diaz and is killed by Tommy in an airstrike, leaving the Street Wannabes with no known leader. Similarly to the PIG, they are not as important nor powerful as the other gangs, and are always killed by Tommy in the few storyline appearances they make.
They seem to be on bad terms with the Vice City bikers as they stole Mitch Baker's motorcycle, and with Diaz gang due to their leader stealing from Ricardo.
They were also ambushed by Tommy due to orders from Umberto Rabina, suggesting they are also enemies of the Cubans. By the events of 1986, the Cubans are involved in a war against their main rivals, the Haitians gang, to become the dominant gang in Little Havana. Street Wannabes are not hostile to Tommy, even after he kills their leader, and will only shoot in self-defense or if hijacked.
They will always shoot against the pig guards when one enters the mall. The Cubans are a Latin street gang in GTA Vice City. The Cubans are led by Umberto Rabina and are based in the Little Havana district of Vice City. Cuban gang members are either seen wearing white sleeveless shirts with a Japanese symbol and writing, red bandanas and jeans, or a fedora hat, light yellow shirts and black pants in Vice City. They are armed with 9mm pistols. The 10th anniversary version of GTA Vice City had all references to the Cuban and Haitian people removed in response to Cuban and Haitian groups in the United States who threatened to use action against Rockstar Games on the basis that they were being discriminated against. This is also why in GTA Vice City stories the gang is referred to as Los Cabrons as opposed to simply the Cubans, as they were in GTA Vice City. The Cubans are likely based on the Marielitos, the name of numerous gangs who were descended from refugees who came to the United States during the Mariel boat lift and were active in the 1980s. Cuban gang members will still engage in gun fights against the Vercetti gang but will not attack Tommy himself. The Cubans have two true arch-enemies, the Cholos and the Haitians. The Vercetti gang is a powerful criminal organization based in and around Vice City, Florida. They are led by Tommy Vercetti and are essentially a splinter group of the Forelli family, of which Vercetti was previously recognized as a member, and the former Diaz gang. They first appear midway through GTA Vice City. The Vercetti gang are never formally named in the game. The name Vercetti gang came from Kaufman Cab's dispatcher Doris announcing Tommy Vercetti's takeover of the business to the drivers. Upon reaching 100% completion, 3 Vercetti gang members can be recruited and act as bodyguards for $2,000. If they accidentally shoot the player during a gunfight, no health or armor will be lost. The Vercetti gang is the only gang in normal gameplay to use any firearm other than a pistol, as they begin to carry Uzis. Tommy Vercetti's gang and empire are clearly inspired by the Montana cartel from the 1983 film Scarface because members of both gangs are made of employees of drug lords which the protagonist has killed in order to take over their empire. The Vercetti estate is clearly based on Tony Montana's mansion from Scarface. The Barrios Los Aztecas have been around since the early 1980s and are one of the more recently formed gangs in Los Santos. Much of their origins and past history is unknown. The Aztecas are based on the real-life gang called the Serenos. It is possible that the Barrios Los Aztecas are allied with the Colombian cartel because Catalina in GTA 4 mentions that she does not ally with anyone except her relatives. This would be odd since the Aztecas are opposed to the narcotics trade, though it's possible their stance may have changed by 2001. In the beta version of the game, Aztecas members could be recruited and were originally scripted to be on much friendlier terms with the families. This is also proven by their dialogue, as they rarely may compliment CJ. The radio in the early game mentions that the Aztecas were in a war with the Vagos in East Los Santos, despite the area actually being controlled by the Balas. Barrios Los Aztecas is misspelled Spanish for the Aztec neighborhoods. The correct word is barrio, or barrios in plural. However, this is probably misspelled on purpose, as in Mexican and Chicano Spanish dialects, the sound of B and V are basically pronounced the same way. The Balas are a gang featured in GTA San Andreas, serving as the primary threat and becoming the main enemies of the game. The Balas are based on the Bloods, but their gang colors are based on the Grape Street Crips. The Balas have been around since the 1970s. Specific information regarding where or how they formed is unknown. Their rivalry with GSF is based on the rivalry of Los Angeles gangs the Bloods and Crips. Violence hit a peak in Los Angeles in the early 90s due in part to the crack epidemic. The Balas gang member with the purple shirt, the black beanie and black glasses resembles the carjackers that killed Kane's cousin in Menace to Society. During 1992, the Balas attempted to assassinate Grove Street family's leader Sean Johnson in an attempt to take over Grove Street territories. Using a green saber, the Balas performed a drive-by shooting on the Johnson house. However, instead of killing Sweet, the Balas instead killed his mother, Beverly. Despite their rivalry with the Los Santos Vagos on the streets, influential members from the Balas and the Vagos maintain a business partnership for the interest of money and drugs. The Balas were originally going to be called the Flats. Unlike the GSF, the Balas have no reservations about making money by selling drugs. The spread of crack cocaine into the Grove Street community is part of their strategy to wipe the GSF out. Like all gangs in GTA San Andreas, the Balas have 3 skins that walk and drive around their territories. The first member wears a black pinstriped beanie, a purple prolapse jacket, beige khaki pants, sunglasses, and black and white high-top sneakers. The second member is overweight, wears a purple bandana, a chore coat, similar to what ex-GSF member B-Dup wears, black jeans and white sneakers. The last member sports a purple bandana, white t-shirt, purple khaki shorts, knee-high white socks and sandals. Sometimes, a pedestrian will drive a Bala vehicle. He may look normal, but Grove Street will shoot at his vehicle and blow it up. He also appears if the Balas have no more turf. This happens because the GSF will shoot at any Tahoma or Majestic passing on their turf, because the gang will mistake it for the Ballas even if a regular pedestrian is driving the aforementioned cars. The Da Nang Boys, named after the Vietnamese region and city of Da Nang, is a Vietnamese gang in GTA San Andreas based in San Fierro, preparing a full move to the United States of America. Although they are Vietnamese, the gang is based on the real-life Cantonese-Vietnamese smuggling gang, the Jackson Street Boys. The gang is also based on the Asian Boys and Born to Kill, two other gangs with largely Vietnamese membership which were mostly active in the early 1990s. The gang is extremely violent, with major interests in protection, narcotics, and human trafficking. While the Da Nang Boys are portrayed as a major Vietnamese gang in the city, two other sects, the Shining Razors and the Butterfly Children, were mentioned in the game and in the official GTA San Andreas website, and are said to be active in Easter Basin. The Da Nang Boys are at war with the local San Fierro Triads and were responsible for the massacre of the Blood Feather Triad, a subsect of the Triads. One of the Da Nang Boys members is wearing a gray US Army PT shirt, which didn't exist until 2000, but the game takes place in 1992. The Grove Street Families is an African-American street gang and one of the oldest street gangs in Los Santos, San Andreas. They are the sworn enemy of the Ballas, an intense and ongoing rivalry as part of the Ballas Grove Street War. The families also maintain rivalries with the two Mexican gangs in Los Santos, the Los Santos Vagos and the Barrios Los Aztecas. They are headed by Sean Sweet Johnson and Carl Johnson, Lance Ryder Wilson and Melvin Big Smoke Harris. GSF members drive the Greenwood, Voodoo, and Savannah. In the beginning of the game, Grove Street members are mostly unarmed, with some carrying pistols or Tech-9s. If the player sprays over all tags in Los Santos, they will wield Desert Eagles, SMGs, and knives instead. The Grove Street families consider the Ballas to be their sworn enemies, and the two were often at war for territory before the GSF's loss of prominence in the city, and again after they begin their revival. This rivalry is often thought to be inspired by Los Angeles's Bloods and Crips gangs. Violence in Los Angeles hit a peak during the early 90s crack epidemic, a situation mirrored in 1992's Los Santos. The Los Santos Vagos are the largest and most powerful Mexican/Latino street gang based in Los Santos and the second most powerful overall gang at the beginning of the events in San Andreas. The history of the Vagos is shrouded in mystery, as well as many of the events surrounding the gang, though they probably started forming simultaneously in relation to the other Los Santos gangs during the 1970s and 1980s. Since Northeast Los Santos was once part of Vagos territory before falling under Ballas control in 1992, there must have been either a gang war or a diplomatic agreement between the Ballas and the Vagos at some point. The Vagos are known to be extremely violent and will often attack in very large groups from numerous directions in an attempt to swarm and flank their enemies as part of their strategy. The most accurate real prototype of Vagos is the Latin Kings gang, who are the biggest Hispanic street gang in the US and sport yellow as their gang color. The Latin Kings, however, is later represented as the Spanish Lords in GTA 4 and its episodes, as well as GTA Chinatown Wars. The San Fierro Rifa is the sole Mexican gang in San Fierro led by T-Bone Mendez. Rifa had strong dislike towards other Mexican gangs in Los Santos, until they joined the narcotics business with Big Smoke and linked up with the Los Santos Vagos. The Rifa and Vagos often deal with each other in narcotics as seen in the mission Wrong Side of the Tracks. The focus of the Rifa is also not based on a gang war with the other San Fierro gangs, but in narcotics business. The only gang the Rifa has a strong dislike to is the Barrios Los Aztecas, who are well away from their territory. The San Fierro Rifa gang members are seen driving stallions, sabers, and blades and listen to the radio station KGH West. The San Fierro Rifa is based on real-life gang the Norteños. During early development of the game, the San Fierro Rifa were supposed to dislike CJ and attack him on sight. The sound files still exist for trashing CJ's car, but none for attacking him. This likely indicates that the idea was cut very early. Rifa members nearly have the same turquoise color bandanas that Barrios Los Aztecas wear, but the Rifa's colors are slightly more vibrant. The San Fierro Triads are a gang in Grand Theft Auto San Andreas, originating from Hong Kong, who have since moved to San Fierro. There are 3 triad factions in San Fierro consisting of a set hierarchy with small sets answering to larger sets. The most prominent gang in the group, the Mountain Cloud Boys, is operated by the blind Woozy Moo and answers to the Red Gecko Tong. Despite Woozy being blind, he seems to be an experienced driver and shooter. Triad members don all black suits or all gray suits. The Triad gang members appear on the streets in Chinatown, the most northern tip of Kings and Colton Heights in San Fierro. Strangely, they do not appear on Las Venturas streets, even areas surrounding the Four Dragons Casino,
although they can be seen on several cutscenes and missions. They usually wield AK-47s and pistols, however in certain missions they can be seen with different guns.
The San Fierro Triad's gang members are seen driving elegies, stratums, and sultans.
The San Fierro Triads are probably based on the Huacheng, one of San Francisco's largest and oldest triad societies. Yardies, also known as Jamaicans, are led by Real Badman and his underboss and best friend, Little Jacob. They are one of the major ally groups in GTA 4, as Jacob is a close friend to the game's protagonist Nico Bellic. The specific year of the gang's foundation is unknown, but their earliest presence dated by 2001, when Real Badman and Little Jacob, both known members of the Yardies, were convicted for armed robbery aged 21 and 20 respectively. Yardies don't appear in Grand Theft Auto 5, but Tavel Clinton on his Life Invader page reveals that he lives in an apartment in Schudler with 2 Jamaicans and a Senegalese student and that they cannot understand one another. Yardies speak Irish as well as patois, frequently smoke marijuana, and wear their hair in dreadlocks. They can be seen wearing brightly colored suits or army fatigues, and some wear Rasta tams, which is a sign of rude boy style. Due to Nico being close friends with Little Jacob, the Yardies welcome him to their turf. If Nico is engaged in a fight, or is attacked by a pedestrian, the Yardies will defend him by all means. The Albanian gang is based in Little Bay, Bowen, Liberty City, which operates mainly in loan sharking, blackmailing, extortion, and working as hired thugs for larger organizations such as the Ancelotti family. They are rarely seen in Little Bay during the daytime, and mostly seen at night.
Albanian immigrants make up the majority of the gang.
They mostly wear colorful biker jackets, sports fatigues, camouflage cargo pants, and cheap suit jackets.
The Albanians drive red Hakamai and red-black photo sedans, while Dardan Petrella appears to own a personal beige Willard.
The Albanians are likely inspired by Albanian organized criminal groups operating in New York, such as the Rudej Organization and Albanian Boys Incorporated, due to the fact that most of the time they were used as enforcers for the Italian mafia, and were engaged in small-time crimes such as sticks-ups and burglaries mirroring their real-life counterparts. The Albanians are never referred to specifically as a mob, although they do behave like a gang and likely have a hierarchy. Clay Simons always refers to them specifically as Eastern Euro Fs or tracksuit-wearing Mother Fs. The Gambiti is the strongest and most powerful of the Liberty City Cosa Nostra families in the Commission. The Gambiti were led by Sonny Cangelosi until his death in 1978, when he was succeeded by his nephew John Gravelli, who led the Gambiti until his own death in 2008. They are based in Broker, Dukes, and Algonquin. Gravelli claims they have controlled many lucrative rackets, including window cleaning services and bus lines, since 1958. During the events of GTA 4, the Gambiti crime family came into conflict with the Korean mob, Ancelotti crime family, and the Raskolov family. Through the help of Nico Bellic, the family get rid of their problems with all the other crime families. Once Nico is done, John Gravelli shows his gratitude by bringing Darko Breivik into the country. The Gambiti family are also mentioned in GTA 5 during a random event in which the player must rescue Sammy Bottino's daughter from being buried alive on Polito Bay. The Gambiti family is based on the Gambino crime family, widely regarded as one of the most powerful and respected mafia families of New York City. The Jewish mob is a criminal organization which deals in diamond trading. Isaac Roth, a Hasidic Jew, appears to be the boss of the operation, with Maury Green, an Orthodox Jew, as the underboss and his right-hand man. All members of the Jewish mob wear suits and ties, with jeans. Their vehicles of choice are black PMP 600s. In their first appearance, which coincidentally is the Impossible Trinity trio of missions, they are dealing $2 million with Ray Bacino for diamonds.
Ray sends Nico Bellic and Johnny Klevitz to conduct the deal.
Since the diamonds were stolen from Tony Prince and Luis Lopez, Luis appears on the scene and ambushes the deal. The Jewish mob is based on the Jewish American organized crime movement in New York City. Jewish organized crime figures such as Benjamin Bugsy Siegel were a driving force behind the development of the Las Vegas Strip. Siegel was not only influential within the Jewish mob, but along with his childhood friend and fellow gangster Meyer Lansky, also held significant influence within the Italian-American Mafia and the largely Italian-Jewish National Crime Syndicate. The McCreary crime family is a family of Irish-American criminals based throughout Liberty City, headed by the McCreary brothers. They operate in Dukes and formerly the West Side in Purgatory, Algonquin. They play a large role in Grand Theft Auto 4.
The gang can be seen in Steinway, Dukes.
Members of the gang wear casual clothes, sometimes with green color or Irish symbolism, and some have ginger hair. They drive modified Ubermacht Oracles and green Contenders. If Nico is attacked by a pedestrian, a McCreary crime family associate may come and assist Nico and will fight the pedestrian. However, they usually will just beat the pedestrian until they decide to run away and not usually kill them. The gang controlled Purgatory in Algonquin,
as well as most of Dukes and Broker, but the expansion of the Italian Mafia and Russian Bratva gangs encroached on their empire.
The McCreeries are mostly based on the Westies, which were an Irish-American criminal organization. Just like the McCreeries, the Westies operated in Hell's Kitchen, which Purgatory is based on.
The Westies too eventually lost influence in Hell's Kitchen due to gentrification.
The North Holland Hustlers are an African-American street gang in Grand Theft Auto 4 operating in northern Algonquin, Liberty City, that specialize in dealing crack cocaine, but, as the name suggests, probably involved in all types of criminal activity.
The gang also might have ties to the Pavano family through Joe Corolla, who supplies dealers in North Holland with heroin.
The year of foundation of the gang is unknown, but one of the members, Javon Simpson, was a small-time drug dealer during the crack boom in early 90s.
Members of the gang can be identified by their flashy, hip-hop inspired attire.
The gang members can often be seen hanging in groups around the projects in North Holland and Northwood, as well as walking the streets and driving vehicles around these areas. Judging by their conflicts with Playboy X and Dwayne Forge, the gang is probably small-time and can't afford itself an open war with such opponents, preferring insults and denunciations. During the storyline of Grand Theft Auto 4, Nico Bellic encounters members of the gang twice. Both times the encounter leads to murder.
Nico kills Marlon Bridges, young and ambitious drug dealer from North Holland Hustlers, for insulting Playboy X.
The Petrovich Crime Syndicate, also called Mafia and the Bratva, is part of the Russian organized crime operating primarily in Liberty City and is probably the biggest Russian organized crime family in the US. It plays a minor role in GTA 4, yet serves as the main protagonist's affiliation in its multiplayer. The boss of the organization, Kenny Petrovich, believed to be the most powerful Russian kingpin in Liberty City, and possibly America. The syndicate involved in all types of criminal activities, including drug trade, vehicle thefts, and racketeering. Russian criminals can be encountered in Hope Beach, Firefly Island, and Beachgate, wearing suits, leather jackets, casual clothes and sport attire, and driving Rebla, Shafter, Uranus, and Ingot. After Nico Bellic becomes an associate of the Faustin Mafia, he can't be attacked by Russian mobsters under any circumstances, being the part of Russian organized crime as well. Petrovich's crime syndicate supplies the Lost MC with methamphetamine, which probably served as the reason for their rivalries, Angels of Death, to destroy one of Petrovich's meth labs. The Skinheads, also known as Dealers from Game Files, are a small-time gang in Grand Theft Auto 4 and The Lost and Damned. They are depicted as low-level drug peddlers, car thieves, and thugs with serious drug habits. They are most commonly found in the more deprived parts of Algonquin, although pockets of them can be found all over the city.
Known members include Jimmy Cand and Marty Baldeno. Unlike most gangs, they don't appear to be a very organized or disciplined gang. Skinheads are thin, young Caucasian males with a very distinctive appearance.
They are not really a gang in the files, rather they are special dealer pedestrians. Due to this, they don't have any weapons, nor do they drive unique vehicles. The Skinheads also may take influence from early skinheads in the UK, judging from their good relationship with the Yardis and incorporating of Rasta/Jamaican symbolism in their outfits. Their appearances resemble the appearances of Tim Armstrong and Lars Frederiksen from the ska punk band Rancid.
This is further evidenced by one skinhead having bunks tattooed on his forehead, a clear reference to Lars Frederiksen's skunks tattoo.
The Spanish Lords are a Puerto Rican gang featured in Grand Theft Auto 4. They are one of the largest street gangs operating in GTA 4, having influence across virtually all boroughs, except Broker. In Alderney City, since they share their turf with the Korean mob, they don't attack each other and may even drive around in cars with Koreans in the passenger seat. Some are seen wearing t-shirts with the word Boricua printed on them, a term that derives from the pre-Columbian Taino Indian language of Puerto Rico, which means Puerto Rican. Sometimes, if you hit a car belonging to one while he's in it, the gang member will come out with a knife. At night, they usually walk around with micro SMGs and pistols in case of fights. Their name, Spanish Lords, is a play on their real-life counterpart, the Latin Kings.
Both gangs flash black and yellow, and both have Puerto Ricans as the majority of its members.
They may also be based off of association needus due to the fact that some members flash the said gang's colors, such as those on the Puerto Rican flag and even the flag itself.
This is not unusual, as Rockstar mixed up several gangs' traits from their real-life counterparts to avoid favoritism. The Barrios Los Aztecas, also known as VLA or simply Aztecas, are a relatively small Mexican street gang featured in GTA 5 and GTA Online. Aztecas is Spanish for Aztecs, who were an ancient civilization. Aztecas have some older members that appear to be in their 60s. This indicates the possibility that the Aztecas are a multi-generational gang.
This is not uncommon in Los Angeles, as there are Mexican street gangs such as White Fence and Clanton 14 that have been around since the 1940s. Barrios Los Aztecas members can be found in their territory east of Central Los Santos Hospital around northern Rancho. Aztecas can be easily identified by their light turquoise-colored cholo-style clothing. Even though they dress similarly to some members of the Marabunta Grande, Aztecas do not sport face tattoos unlike their rivals. It is likely that the Aztecas are based on various Chicano gangs such as the Florencia 13, as well as Barrio Nuevo Estrada given their name. Various VLA members reuse models and quotes from Vagos, therefore, they may yell LSV, short for Los Santos Vagos, during combat. The Los Santos Triads, formerly known as the Wei Chang Triad, are a large Chinese crime syndicate in GTA 5 and GTA Online. The Triads are led by Wei Chang, the father of Tao Chang, during the events of GTA 5 in 2013, and by an unnamed Triad boss in 2020, during the events of Gerald's Last Play in GTA Online. They may be influenced by the Black Dragons Triads that are based in Los Angeles. Despite becoming their main enemy later in the game, Trevor never fights the Triads in any of GTA missions. Also, if Trevor sets foot on the Triads' territory, they will not attack him on sight, unlike the Lost MC. As of the After Hours update, the Triad presence has been increased almost all around the map of Los Santos, making situations more dangerous, especially if they are armed with weapons. Additionally, it can also interrupt other free mode missions, increasing their difficulty. The Triad's logo bears an amazing resemblance to the logo of the Mortal Kombat video game franchise, except with the dragon flipped the other way and colored red instead of black. The Ballas are a large African-American street gang featured in GTA 5. They mainly operate in the cities of Los Santos and Davis. The Ballas could be based on the Bloods gang in Los Angeles, because they wear hats with P's and B's on them just like the real-life Bloods. The Ballas also have turf on east side of South LS, just like Bloods in real life. In one of the dialogue used by random Ballas members, they mention Big Smoke, the Grove Street family's member and traitor in Grand Theft Auto San Andreas. Ballas keep their unique highly modified bright purple and gold-colored gang cars in their cul-de-sac in Grove Street. There is one Bala from the OCBG, Original Covenant Bala Gangsters, who has a complexion similar to rapper DJ Quick. He can be seen on GTA 5 website. DJ Quick was a member of the Treetop Pyru Bloods, whom the OCBG are based on, hinting more evidence that the Ballas are alluded to the real-life Bloods. In Director mode, there is a pedestrian who is listed as the OC Bala boss. However, this pedestrian is actually a family's member. The Los Santos Vagos are a large Mexican street gang appearing in GTA 5. They are said to be the largest Hispanic street gang in Los Santos and are rumored to have connections with some major mafia groups, according to the Underbelly of Paradise TV program. Vagos are supporters of LS Pounders football team. A real-life outlaw motorcycle club called the Vagos exists, operating in the United States, Canada, and Mexico. They could possibly be based on various Sereno street gangs given their unique Mexican gangster style, and also many members have shaved heads similar to Serenos in real life. Their principal interest is drug trafficking, but they have diversified into mid-level distribution, end-user sales and other contraband. Many of the Vagos upper leaders are currently incarcerated. The Los Santos Vagos are separated into 3 sets. Northside Vagos controls the north side of Rancho. Original LS Vagos controls the south side of Rancho. They are probably at war with the Ballas. Eastside Vagos controls the Cypress Flats and also the east side of Rancho. The Marabunta Grande is a Salvadoran gang in Grand Theft Auto 5 and Grand Theft Auto Online. They are heavily involved in drug trafficking and are currently at war with the Mexican gang Barrios Los Aztecas over the drug trade. Weasel News also reported that a recent shootout occurred between the two gangs in the Grand Sonora Desert. Marabunta Grande members can be found in their territory of East Los Santos, specifically El Burro Heights, and have another set in Vespucci Beach. They can also be found hanging out in the LS River, specifically in East Vinewood near Mirror Park, and in Louisiana Mesa, directly east of Northern Rancho where they conduct street racing. Members of the Marabunta Grande can be easily identified by their full-face tattoos and bandanas on their heads. Younger members wear modern urban apparel while the older members dress in more classic cholo-style clothing. Their dominant color is blue. Marabuntas are gangs originating in the USA which expanded to Central American countries such as El Salvador, Honduras, and Guatemala. They appear to be mainly based on the Mara Salvatrucha, MS-13. The O'Neill brothers are characters in the Grand Theft Auto series, appearing as minor antagonists in Grand Theft Auto 5 and Grand Theft Auto Online.
The O'Neill brothers are a family of inbred, hillbilly, redneck meth dealers in Grapeseed, Blaine County. They are familiar with the Barrios Los Aztecas gang, with the Lost MC, and with Trevor Phillips. After some potential clients, the Los Santos triads decide to work with the brothers instead of Trevor due to his violent and reckless behavior. This angers Trevor so much that he attacks O'Neill Ranch and single-handedly kills most of the family. Following this, Trevor starts receiving phone calls from one surviving brother threatening him with death. Sometime after, Franklin calls Trevor and informs him that he is following the rest of the vengeful O'Neill brothers. Michael uses a heavy sniper rifle with a thermal scope to kill them from a helicopter flown by Trevor. At some point between 2013 and 2020, the remaining O'Neill brothers reconstructed their ranch. The ranch was invaded by the GTA Online protagonist in order to steal their demolition charges to use during the Cayo Perico heist. The Duggan crime family is a corrupt family of Texan petrochemical magnates that appear as one of the main group of antagonists in Grand Theft Auto Online. They were led by Avery Duggan, a Texan businessman and private military corps CEO, until his death in 2019, upon which his nephew, Thornton Duggan, assumes leadership. After Avery's death, the Duggan crime family was largely weakened, with the few remaining members uniting behind Thornton and working as security staff at the Diamond, the old security team. In 2019, the Duggan crime family, mostly made up of hired professionals, seeks to buy the Diamond Casino and Resort from its owner, Tao Chang, a member of the Chang family. In 2021, the Duggan crime family hires the player to help them protect assets for the Diamond Casino when they are attacked by the Los Santos triads. The player and several Duggan crime family members hold off the triads at a storage locker in La Mesa. Avery Duggan is the third real estate developer in the Grand Theft Auto series to be named Avery. The others are Avery Carrington and Lenny Avery. Most of his so-called henchmen appear to be members of the Professionals gang. The Fulligans are a gang appearing in Grand Theft Auto 5 and featured in Grand Theft Auto Online. Their graffiti includes multiple catchphrases and digs at law enforcement, government, and corporations. Their mascot is Dildadud, a tribal figure holding a double-ended dildo in each hand. They are involved in the drug manufacture and supply business, specifically hallucinogens such as LSD. Much like the hippies, Fulligans are not aggressive towards players outside mission scenarios. They will usually run away when in the vicinity of any aggressive acts. Two can usually be found hanging out with rednecks at the boathouse in Sandy Shores between 11 a.m. and 6 p.m. during the day, and up to 4 can be found drinking and smoking in a ruined house along the shore of the Alamosi between 6 p.m. and 4 a.m. at night. After the Los Santos Drug Wars update, they take over Trevor Phillips Enterprises meth lab at Ace Liquor in Sandy Shores, and later set up the freak shop in the Mirror Park rail yard. The leader, Dax, is introduced along with wrestler Lucadora and drug chemist Lab Rat. The Los Santos Drug Wars formally introduces and names the gang. The Professionals are a crime syndicate featured in Grand Theft Auto Online. The Professionals appear to be a drug distribution network dealing with various other gangs such as the Ballas, the Vagos, and the Lost MC. The Professionals seem to be affiliated with the Federal Investigation Bureau as well. They are in control of many different fronts, including the Mile High Club construction site as seen in a gang attack. The Professionals also seem to be providing courier and bodyguard services for a variety of valuable employers, thus making them potential competitors of Merriweather Security Consulting. The Professionals dress in suits, sports coats, collared fabric bomber jackets or collared leather bomber jackets with business attire, and are multiracial with white, black, and Hispanic members. Some wear black leather gloves, adding even more to their look of stereotypical hitmen. Despite being enemies of the protagonist, they can be hired as security for their weapon trafficking in the gun running update. They bear resemblance to the main group of antagonists in the movie Lethal Weapon, called Shadow Company. Like the Professionals, they are ex-military operatives involved in the drug trade. The families hold a bitter rivalry with the neighboring Ballas gang and the Los Santos Vagos gang on the southeast side in Rancho. Their signature green attire mainly comes from the support of the colors of the Los Santos Corkers baseball team and the Feud baseball team. The families are possibly based upon the Crips gang in South Los Angeles, as they control the west side of South LS, just like Crips in real life. They also wear clothing with C's on them. Families have slightly more territory than Ballas. Franklin can buy some families' apparels, tattoos and hairstyles in GTA 5. If the player is using Franklin and travels into family's territory while being pursued by police, family's gang members may engage in combat with the police. This only occurs with a wanted level of 1 or 2 stars. According to Lamar, during the Mission Hood Safari, Grove Street was formerly family's territory. This conversation only happens if Franklin escapes with Lamar during the mission. Lookalikes of CJ may be seen among Chamberlain gangster members, while Carson Avenue members may bear resemblance to Ryder or Sweet. The Lost Motorcycle Club is an outlaw motorcycle club in the HD universe of the GTA series. The Lost began in 1964 with 8 U.S. Marines who met during the Vietnam War in Hanoi, North Vietnam. After the war ended, they had a continued thirst for drugs and violence. Because of this, they started the club and named it The Lost in honor of all their friends who had been killed in the war. The Lost are based on the Outlaws Motorcycle Club, as referenced by the Lost's bitter rivalry with the Angels of Death, who are in turn based on the Hells Angels. This rivalry parallels the real-life feud between the Outlaws and the Hells Angels. More proof of this is that the Lost motto, "The Almighty forgives, the lost don't," is clearly based on the Outlaws motto, "God forgives, outlaws don't." The Lost Clubhouse resembles the Hells Angels' New York Clubhouse. It has matching walls, doors, and its compact design is a match. The Lost MC is first mentioned in GTA 5 in an internet news article of Liberty Tree. The article mentions the civil war that happened in 2008 and that the gang is involved in arms trafficking and the production of methamphetamine in the Alamo Sea. Korean Mob is a South Korean criminal organization based in Los Santos, appearing in Grand Theft Auto 5 and Grand Theft Auto Online. They appear as the main group of antagonists of the Los Santos Summer Special Update for Grand Theft Auto Online. They can usually be found on Ginger Street in Little Seoul, usually by the apartment complex across the street from the car wash. They are also found in Blaine County hanging out with the O'Neills. The name Kangpai literally translates into thug in Korean, and usually refers to unorganized street gangs, like the group depicted in-game. Like most gangs, they will become hostile and shoot if the player hangs around too close. The Madrazo Cartel, also known as the Cartel, is a Mexican-American drug cartel that appears in Grand Theft Auto 5 and Grand Theft Auto Online. Led by Mexican Martin Madrazo and his family, the gang muscle is mainly made up of young Hispanic men of Guatemalan origin. Gang muscle are seen wearing distinctive Flying Bravo polo shirts of varying colors and designs, usually with numbers on the sleeves. Internal character models are named Pologoon, reflecting their common wardrobe. Higher-up members of the gang do not wear these shirts and sometimes use the same models as the Vagos and the Armenian mob. Like the Aztecas, many of the cartel members reuse the Vagos members' dialogue. Armenian mob operate from the Rogers Salvage and Scrap in La Puerta. They can easily be identified with their brown leather jackets, dress suits, gold chains, and thick accents. Simeon Yetarian, a car dealer in Los Santos and employer of Franklin Clinton and Lamar Davis, presumably has connections with them, as they provide him protection, as seen in his random encounter in Grand Theft Auto 5. They are possibly based on the Armenian Power Gang, an Armenian street gang and crime syndicate in Los Angeles. Some of them dress in typical Cholo style, making them even more similar to Armenian Power, as they often mimic the local Sereno gangs in style. This is further mirrored by the fact Armenian Power is allied with the Mexican Mafia.